here with head baseball coach Chris Vito. About ready to get the season underway here in a couple weeks with some dome games. Just how's practice going so far for your team?
Overall, very well. I believe we're about 14 practices in after last night, and we started the live pitching and hitting Monday night. That's gone very well, and overall the practices have gone well. And this is a tendency, the time of year where you've got, here we are starting week 3, that kids may start to drag just a bit, having the repetition and being inside. But overall, our group has done a very good job of keeping themselves motivated, working hard, and staying focused on what we need to do.
Just talk about the team you've got coming back in the field. You've got, I think, 4 starters returning, and then at pitcher, you've got 5 guys that pitch 25 innings or more coming back to your team. Just what else are you adding with some newcomers? And just talk about the guys that are returning to your lineup.
Well, obviously, when you can return some folks, that's a big thing. When you look on the hill, and we return the likes of Matt Cordy and Ryan Posh are 2 that have been with me now for 3 years. And I believe Ryan's led our team in appearances, both as a freshman and as a sophomore. I mean, Maddie's been a hardline starter for us, but you also look at Joe Miller returning to that pitching staff, and to Brooks Miller's another one. Those are, and I'm sure I'm leaving somebody out here, but that's big. And then you look at defensively, very excited with the Josh Bremer's going to be a junior. He's been a 3-year starter for us. J.C. Crane solidifies things behind the plate again. Matt Cordy, of course, will play in the field. Brooks Miller plays in the field for us. Very vital. Jordan Prill at first base. And the big thing when I bring up all these names, and as I said, I'm probably left some folks out, is also the leadership that they bring as returning players to our program. But we also feel excited about the depth we've added, with kids, especially on the pitching staff. I don't know that we've been this deep in my time here, entering year 6, where we have, 8 kids that all they're going to do is pitch. We've always had a lot of kids that have had to go, both ways, and I don't have a problem with that. But when you can, the more that you can get that are just focusing on when they've got to be on the bump, the better. And overall, we've got 14 pitchers, and I think we're gonna, Dave Williams, our pitching coach, has done a great job with them. They're working on keeping the ball down, being consistent, and I'm very excited to get things started with them.
Just like I said, you start the season here in a couple weeks down at the Dome against Upper Iowa first, and then is it UMary the next day. Just talk about first off how vital getting games in at the Metrodome has been to your program, something I know you've done since you've been here, and just talk about how excited you are to get things started with some actual games.
Well, to say the least, I mean, I'm as excited to play as the first day I went to t-ball practice, and that never leaves me. And the day it does, and I've got to look for something else to do. I'm always excited as the kids, And the Dome has been so good to Northern baseball, especially to the smaller colleges such as ourselves, and it's very important. Otherwise we'd be heading to Missouri or to Montana and places like that. Not that that's bad, but there's no guarantee you're going to get the games.
Yep.
We know we're going to get these games, and it's going to be a challenge. I mean, when you open up the year with 2 NSIC opponents and 2 very solid programs in Upper Iowa and UMary, we've got to be ready to go right off the bat. And that's going to give us an idea of where we stand, too, and where we've got to go from there.
After that, you get to go down to Florida and get some games in down there. Just talk about how important that Florida trip has been to your team, just to get away from the Midwest for a while and get in some games, in the sun of Florida.
Well, obviously, it's important. I mean, you look at the obvious, recruiting end of it. I mean, kids always ask, well, where do you take your spring trip? But the practical part of it is that's something we need to do. We need to get to warmer temperatures where our kids can stretch out their arms, and really play the game and get some things done. The other great thing about it is we've always, when you go to Florida, you get to match up against teams that you wouldn't normally otherwise play. And I think from the educational standpoint and everything that kids are trying to accomplish in college, that's a big thing. To get to play teams from other parts of the country, meet other people. And so it's a big deal. We're going to Clearwater again this year, and really looking forward to that.
Okay. Just some of the newcomers that you think are going to play huge roles for your team, just who are the guys that you're looking to step up that have shown some things in practice?
Well, I mean, all the guys returning and new are looking good. So I don't really want to single anybody out. But I have been pleased. I mean, they're pushing each other. The biggest thing that I've noticed with our newcomers is that they're pushing the returners. I'll just say that. And that's big because the return makes the returners better. And conversely, the returners will make these newcomers better. Yeah. We need to have that interchangeable depth where I know, and Coach Williams, Coach Mitchell Orr, Coach Aaron Model also know, and they're all doing a great job, that we can plug this person in for this person and really not skip a beat. And I'm really excited about where we're headed with these guys. And like I said, from day one, they've come in and really pushed very hard.
Okay. Here with Josh Bramer and Matt Cordy, getting ready for the start of the 2013 baseball season. First off, Josh, just how has practice been going so far? I know you guys have been at it a couple weeks now, and just talk about how it's going so far.
Yeah, a couple weeks. We're probably our third week right now. Things are going really well. We just started hitting live this past week, which is going really well. We saw some of the pitchers, and they were throwing pretty good. Everyone looked really on, hitting their spots, and just everyone's clicking really well right now. And so it's really awesome seeing everyone just kind of being one big family.
Matt, same question. Just how has pitching workouts been going so far?
Pitching's been great, but I've been with the infielders, so I've had to do some extra work after and before practice, but every pitcher is working hard, and they're all improving every single day.
Just what are some of your guys' expectations for this season? I know had a decent year last year with, 10 wins, but what are you looking to do this year? Obviously, I know as a team you always want to get better, but just what are some of your guys' goals going into this year?
Well, obviously we want to get to 10 wins again, that'd be pretty sweet, but we also want to get more than 10 wins, kind of want to break that, and just, I don't know, just see everyone improve, like, on and off the field, mainly.
Matt, do you have any?
Yeah, just improve on from last year. Last year we improved from the year before, and hopefully we continue that trend and keep improving.
Obviously, the NSIC is a tough league. Just what do you guys think you need to do as a team to be able to compete in this, tough Division II league?
Just not let anything get in our heads. Like, it's baseball, stuff happens, and you can't really let the little things affect how you play.
Just make the routine plays and play hard every game and have fun.
You guys have quite a few newcomers coming in. How have they meshed so far with the returners that you do have?
Really well, really well. I know a lot of the younger, new guys have found like an upperclassman buddy or someone they can kind of hang on to and kind of help them, show them the way. And it's really nice, the little guys wanting to get in and learn new stuff.
Yeah, basically said it all.
You guys are going to start here in a couple weeks with the Dome games on the 15th and 16th, and then you've got a couple more Dome dates before you go down to Florida. Just how exciting is it to get those Dome dates at the Metrodome? And I know, the Metrodome's going to be no more here in a couple years. And just how is it to play in a major league facility with those opening games?
It's pretty sweet. The only bad thing is we play at 6 a.m. with first time. That's gonna be a little rough. But I mean, it's exciting no matter what time it is. Like, we gotta play baseball in a big game setting, and just being on the field just kind of gets everyone pumped up. And
yeah, I've been waiting for this day probably for about 4 months, ever since we started fall ball. So I'm just excited and ready to play.
Like I kind of mentioned, you get to go to Florida after that. Something you guys have done in the past. Just how exciting is it to get out of the Midwest in the middle of March and go down to Florida and get in some good games down there in a little warmer setting than what we're facing in Minnesota right now?
Well, the Arms definitely like it. It's really nice getting some, everyone gets a little red. I know I sure do. But it's just fun to kind of get away from Crookston. I mean, even though it's a good place to be, but just kind of gives you clears your head a little bit, and, just kind of different atmosphere. And I think it'll be good and start a good trend.
Yeah, Florida's a lot better than up here this time of year, and I don't know, it's probably the best trip of the year by far. Best place to play.
Okay. I think we're good. I think